You know it.
All right. I ain't mad.
Oh,
I ain't mad at it.
Mike, just
Heard
give.
he's doing a nice job.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah.
That center's going to be the #1 pick, I think, or at least top 5.
Really?
Yeah, Klingon. Yeah.
He could be the #1 pick.
He's
And I don't know nothing about the draft.
Yeah.
That's why. I just watched the.
You watched a little bit of it.
Watched a little bit of it, but I don't know players like that.
Okay.
But I do know, like I heard one of the guards was like a 0-star recruit.
Yes.
That he started.
Tristan Newton was a JUCO guy from El Paso that went to 4 years. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's great. And he might
It'll be a first-round pick. Oh yeah.
a first-round pick.
Yeah, that's what they're
Holy
projecting
Lord.
right now.
That's good.
I know.
That's
You're
awesome.
loving. I'm making this great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh,
you,
no,
made,
no.
you made my day with this.
Oh, really?
I
Okay,
appreciate
okay.
that,
No,
all right?
it's it. I get excited about stuff like that. You know, you got a 0-star recruit. And he's starting a national championship game, and now he's gonna get drafted and all that other. That's Coach Hurley. You did a hell of a job.
Mike, given all this team's experience since you've been here, and particularly going to the playoffs last year, in what ways have you seen your team grow, and what steps are there still to take?
You know, I tell you, one of the things we've been preaching is playing with the level of physicality for as close to 48 minutes as possible, and we're getting better with that. The exciting part is we still have a lot of room to grow and in that area, but we're better than that than what we were shooting last year and even earlier into this season. I think there's a little bit more confidence in who we are too, or who we can be. Last year was a little bit of the unknown. We were just kind of slanging that thing and trying to do whatever we can to get a win and playing loose and free and all that. And we should play fast, loose, and free and all that other stuff. But I feel like that there's a purpose behind what we're trying to do on both sides of the floor. And then offensively, our guys have gotten a little bit better feel. Like they have their play calls outweigh my play calls. And last year, for the most part, I made it almost every single play call. But this year, if guys feel something or see something, I've given them the freedom to step in, and they all have stepped in at times and made different play calls throughout the course of the year, which is great, especially when the team has the ability to figure out things on their own during the fly.
And given your experience with some Hall of Fame type players, how would you describe the different level that it takes to succeed? I know this isn't the playoffs, but it's a winner-go-home scenario. How would you describe the different level that those guys have gotten to that you would hope to see De'Aaron and Domas maybe get to?
I mean, there's nothing that trumps experience, not only experience, but adversity at a high level. Those guys, you talk about championships, not championship, but championships, and then also losing twice. That same group, basically, or the core, has been there and lost twice, I think, and so they felt it. And for them, even the young guys that play have been there and been a part of winning, and so the experience that they have is undeniable. You can't speed up that process. And what it allows them to do is as the game goes on, a lot of players you can see, especially if it's physical, you can see they may be a little fatigued or tired or however you may want to call it. But those guys know as the game goes along, especially Steph, he's got another gear that he gets to. And as much running as Steph does during the course of the game, you very seldom can feel him being worn out at the end of games. Even if you blitz him the whole game or hit him the whole game, he just still seems to have that motor to be able to get to his spot and accomplish what he needs to accomplish for himself or to help his teammates be better at the end of ball games.
Mike, we've been waiting for Domas to kind of shoot the mid-range, shoot more threes throughout the season, and even last year in the playoffs it became like sort of a big issue. Was he yesterday a little bit of a test run for him, pulling up and shooting some of those shots that he hasn't been taking?
Yeah, I mean, he probably shot more yesterday. excuse me, than he has maybe in any other game. But I don't like, it wasn't, at least on my part, it wasn't planned, so it wasn't a test on my part. You would have to ask him if he consciously went to the game yesterday and tried to shoot it. But he's worked extremely hard on his game, and that's part of what he and Doug have been working on, is the little jump shot from 10 to 12 feet, because as we all know, that's one of the things that the Warriors gave him last year, and he didn't shoot. So if he's open, we have confidence in his ability to shoot the ball. We want him to shoot the ball, but like I said, it wasn't planned on my part. I don't know if it was on his. I didn't talk to him about it.
No chance for me to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
With both the Kings and Warriors being good three-point shooting teams and single elimination, you can't make those shots go down. How do you not live and die by the three?
During the regular season, if you have an open shot, you have to take it. During this situation or the playoffs, especially the further you move along, you have to. You have to take any open shot that comes your way, because if you don't, especially as you advance, these are the better teams in the league, and usually the better teams in the league are better defensively. So if you turn down open shots, you're going to probably get a worse shot in that possession. So for me, if that means we take 33s, then we take 33s. If it means we take 53s, then we take 53s, and we will have to be okay with it, no matter what the result is at the end of the day.
You left playing this team late January. A lot's changed, right? They're starting to trace Jackson Davis, no Monk, no Herter. You're playing that list now. How much do you take away from those early season matchups?
That's a great question. Yeah, but you still have to. But they're especially the guys' individual tendencies that play. So you have to take into account, okay, hey, this guy was good on that guy, and the guy wasn't so good. So you have to kind of look at that, and some of their actions are still the same, and you have to see how you defended it to see if you need to make an adjustment. You see, excuse me, how you were able to score a little bit, and maybe make an adjustment here or there. But it is. You're right. It's a sort of a different team for them, sort of a different team for us. I'm sure they feel like they've grown. We feel like we've grown, and so you got to take a little bit, but not rely heavily on it.
Mike, Davion talked about having the opportunity for payback, and I was curious how you guys as a team kind of look at that, and knowing that, I don't know if you have the belief that sometimes in these series or things like this, like sometimes maybe you have to have your heart broken to accomplish what you ultimately want to do and get past a team like this. Do you kind of subscribe to that at all?
I don't look at it as payback, just because it's different. Now some guys may, but it is a different situation, different team. This is a one and done. That's a 7-game series, and whether it's them or the Clippers or the Lakers or the Suns or whoever's in front of us, we want to win, and whatever gets anybody individually or collectively motivated, I'm okay with it. But I don't necessarily look at it as payback. But that doesn't mean that it's right or wrong.
Mike, rotationally, are we looking at 8 guys like you had rolled out the past couple games, or do you think this might be like a 9-man rotation?
We obviously went to 8. I'm not afraid to stay with 8, and if we have to go to 9, 9.5, however you want to call it, probably won't go to 10, but we have that already mapped out.
And then X factor wise, what is your X factor? What are you preaching to the guys heading into tomorrow?
I mean, we the biggest thing in my opinion is we have to be physical with these guys. They're just so good, so talented offensively. They can put up 140 points in the blink of an eye. Steph can put up a 40 or 50 piece in the blink of an eye, and if we let them get comfortable, it can be a long night for us. And so the physicality has to be there, especially defensively. but even offensively too, with us trying to get our fellow teammate open when it comes to setting the pick and roll or setting pin downs or anything like that.
Coach
Mike,
Brown, I just want to get this question in. You're just talking about your team growing in certain areas, and certainly De'Aaron has grown on the defensive end. Would you consider him, at least being considered one or two NBA all defensive teams?
He's for sure heading that direction. Obviously the steals is a statistic that helps in that area. This is just me. I'm telling you, he can be, and he's good now, and he's for sure has the ability to be on an all defensive team. But guys, I'm telling you, that dude can be so much better, and it's not a knock on him. It's just how I feel his potential and ability is on that end of the floor when you're talking about his length, his anticipation, his quickness, his strength, all of his hands, all those things. He can be a flat-out monster on that end of the floor. Now, in order to do that, it's going to be hard because he's got a big burden offensively to carry for our team, and it's a big burden defensively if you want to be that type of an elite defender. But he can. He's already good. He for sure should be get some recognition around the league for it in terms of one of those teams. But man, the sky is the limit for that dude.
His strength is kind of deceptive too. Would you say?
100%. I call it wiry strong. You're old enough to remember Reggie Williams from Georgetown. Reggie Williams from Georgetown was about this big, But I had the pleasure of I was coaching. I was a player development guy and a video guy, but to work with him in Denver, so I saw firsthand how a guy that might have a slender frame can be very, very strong, and De'Aaron is that type of guy.
With Keon starting in what's essentially his first postseason, just what's your expectations and messaging to him?
First of all, embrace the moment and go out and have fun and just be who you are. He doesn't need to try to do too much. Just keep being who you are and don't be afraid of the moment.
It seems like teams, even just this regular season, have kind of been okay with him shooting.
Yeah.
He seems to be a pretty good shooter. Do you anticipate Golden State maybe doing that?
I think that, if I know those guys, I think they would respect the shooting. But they may give him an opportunity to see if he can make one or two to start because of the moment. But I don't think Keon's afraid, so I think he'll be great.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.